Question number 7. Three forces act at a point. 1, 2, 3. All the forces acting at point. In which diagram is a point in equilibrium? What do you mean by equilibrium? That means F net is equal to 0. Net force equal to 0. Now you see, when the three forces are acting in a plane over here, okay, so what will happen? The net force should be 0 along your x-axis and also along your y-axis. So summation of Fi should be equal to 0 here and also along the x-axis 0 here. Now how do I know whether it is 0 or not until the values are not given? Now what we do is, let me rub this one so that I can understand how to analyze it. Okay, so towards it, now the component of F2 here, how do I get it here? Just draw a perpendicular here. It's like putting a tube light here and finding out what is the shadow of this. The shadow of this is so much over here, right? And what is the component of this? Put a tube light here, right? This is a rod hanging over here. The component of it would be somewhere over here. This would be the shadow here, right? If I add this with this, okay, now this should be equal to this length. Will this be equal or not? I am not aware, okay, because no values are given. Now what we'll do is, let us look at this here. Now if I keep a tube light over here, then what will happen? This rod, the shadow of this will appear here. And if I keep a tube light over here, then what will happen? This shadow will appear longer over here, which means this shadow will be larger than this one, which means the component, this component here will be larger than this one. So definitely this object can move downwards. There is a more force downwards over here, right? So therefore this is not in equilibrium, right? So this is not the right equilibrium. Now in a similar way, so instead of looking at x values, first let us look at y values and then find out whether we get a proper answer or not. Okay, so similarly, if I put a tube light here, what will happen? This will be my length. And if I put a tube light here, see, this will be my length. Hey, somewhere this length and this length are appearing to be the same here, right? See, this is the shadow here and this will be the shadow here, almost the same over here. Okay, now let us investigate here. This one, so this will be the shadow here, this will be the shadow here, and this one might be here, a smaller one here. So you see, y equilibrium is definitely met, but x equilibrium, see, this is the length, and maybe if I take this one and add here, this could be the one. So might be this length and this length will be equal. I'm not sure, but anyway, this could be a possibility. So I'll do keep this B as one of the options. Let us see whether we have any other options to understand it. Otherwise, I can trickle down there. Now let us take up this here. See, here also this length is equal to this length. So definitely this shadow will be equal to this shadow. There's a possibility, but the problem is, see, F3 is very small. But you look at this here, F3 is smaller than this length over here. So definitely this is not a possibility, right? Because if I add this and this length also over here, this might be much larger like this, right? So therefore definitely this is not an option. Now let us look at this here. So what will be the y-axis will be so much. This will be this much bigger over here. So as a result of it, definitely you can see this length is higher, this length is lower, so it's not possible, right? So this is not an equilibrium. So as a result of it, what do we have? B is the right answer. So this D is also not the right option, B is the right option. Is it clear? Okay, if you have still any more doubts, let me know in the comment section. I will definitely try to answer it in an appropriate video.